Hi, welcome to Copenhagen, thanks for dropping in. So now we're ready to start the diamond painting that I got from Wish, and I've already put masking tape around the sides so that I don't touch any excess glue, and I have sliced the air bubbles. For people that saw the previous unboxing video, this one is covered in air bubbles, which can be a problem. And what I've done is I've got this very sharp knife, and if I peel back the cover you can see these silvery lines, and what these are is air that's trapped between the sticky glue, which is basically like double-sided tape but a lot stickier. When they've made it, air has got trapped between that and the actual canvas, and it causes these silver lines. If you don't do anything about them, when you do your diamond painting, you're going to see these ridges in the finished piece, and the way to get rid of them is to slice them with a very sharp knife. So basically all you do is cut down the line and just gently drag the knife down. You're not cutting through the canvas, all you're doing is cutting through the glue. I've already done most of them, so it's just this one here really in the corner. So you can see that I'm not cutting the canvas, I'm just cutting the glue. And what that does is it lets the air escape, so when you press the diamonds down, they stick and stay flat. If you don't do that, the bubble will stay there, and the diamonds that are sitting on these ridges will lift up, and they'll be very noticeable. So the best thing to do is check the area that you're going to work on. I actually took the whole backing off because this isn't a very big one, and just went over the whole thing. So hopefully the cuts allow the air out, so when you press them down they stick. So the other thing is the glue is very sticky, and it isn't a good idea to open up a big section because you're going to get fluff, maybe cat or dog hairs, crumbs, eyelashes, human hair, just different things that you don't think about. If they land on the glue, they're very hard to get off. So it's best to only open up the area that you're intending to work on. So because I'm just going to do the very beginning of this, I'm not going to open up a very big area, and what I do is, it's quite simple. All you do is peel up the back, the cover, decide how far you're going to take it, and just cut it. So as I said, I'm not going to do that much, just going to start this one, show how I start it and explain why I do it the way I do it. So basically I've cut that so that I can fold this back. Now I fold it back, and then what I do is I've got placemats, like table placemats or dinner mats, whatever you want to call them, and I use them to keep everything flat, because if you have big sections of this stuff, it tends to want to come back, and it gets annoying because it keeps popping up like that. So what I do is I use a placemat and I cover it. It also gives me somewhere that I can put all my stuff. So I've got one there, and then I'll put one at this side as well. And then I've got an area where I can put my tic-tac box, my pen, scissors, whatever. And then I'm just going to work in this small area. Now, as you can see, it is very dark, so that is why I'm going to use a light pad. In my last video, I explained what light pads were and what you use them for. So if you want to have a look back, you can see that. So I'm just going to switch the light pad on, and you'll see the difference. So now you can see the numbers and letters Just move this slightly. Okay, you should be able to see that now. So the next step is to load up your pen. Again, I showed all this stuff in previous videos. So you always get a pen and you always get some wax. Normally it's pink wax, like this. Usually it would be a bit bigger, I think. It's just that this is a small diamond painting, so this is the smallest piece I've ever had. So you peel back the cover, you get your diamond painting pen that you get with the kit, and if this will focus, you can see the tip is hollow, and what you do is you press the pen into the wax, just like cutting cookies, and it loads up the tip. So you can see now the tip is pink. So the wax is in there, and this is what you use to pick up your drills. So what I do now is I look where I'm going to start. I'm going to start in the bottom right hand corner. The reason that I start here is because I'm right-handed, and as I start to do the painting and put the diamonds down, my hand's moving over and it'll sit on top of the diamonds. It won't sit on top of the glue. The very first one I did it the opposite way, and I was constantly sticking my hand to the glue, and then I thought, hang on a minute, if I do it the other way, if I put the diamonds down and I work along, my hand is sitting on the diamonds, so I don't stick to it. It's quite irritating. So that's the way I do it. I start in the bottom right hand corner and I'll work this section, and then the way that I do it is I'll work along from right to left in a strip. So I'll cut another section the same height as this one and go along and do the next bit, the next bit, the next bit. I'll probably do some other videos while I'm working on it, so people can see how it comes together. So the other thing that I want to do is see how many diamonds I get from one dot. You can see I've cut the circle out, you can see it there in the wax. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this until I lose the stickiness, and then we can see what sort of area I get from one dot of pink wax. So if I look at the canvas, the very bottom right is an E, and if I look on the key, these were really bad, so I had to write next to them what they actually are, the numbers. So what I'm looking for is E. So E is number 22. Again, I've done all this in a previous video, so if you're sort of wondering what this is all about, I explain the whole thing. And I use these tic-tac boxes. So E is number 22. So I've got tic-tac box 22, and this is the colour for these ones. So I tip these out in my tray, and pick one up. So these are round drills. It's kind of hard to see, but I've got a drill on the end of the pen. So the wax is tacky and it's enough to pick up the diamond. And then what I do is I go to E, put it down, and because the glue is stickier than the wax, when I lift it up, it leaves the diamond or the drill. People normally call them drills. They call it diamond painting, but they normally call these things the drills. So the way that I do this is I do what they call a checkerboard pattern, and it helps to keep things straight. So I've done the first one, second one, third one, and then you can, everybody does it differently. Everybody's got their own way they would work. I could work across from right to left, or I can work up. What I do is I work up the way so that I end up covering this whole section, so that as I start to move across, my hand is sitting on top of them. and I find for me anyway that works the best. If I didn't do that and I just worked across the way, my hand would tend to stick on this glue area. So all I do is zigzag up. Now these all happen to be E's, so you find that you go pretty fast when it's a big area. And this is what they call checkerboard. So you might read or hear about people talking about they do checkerboard pattern. This is all they mean. When you pick up the drills as well, always check that the flat piece is at the bottom. Sometimes you can pick them up and you think it's right, but when you go to stick it down, it's upside down. So you just sort of double check. Sometimes it can be hard to tell. It depends how good or bad your eyesight is. And normally when I'm doing this, I'm listening to music. I normally have headphones on and I listen to music. And while I'm listening to the music, I sit and do this. And this is how I relax. I find it really relaxing. It helps to take your mind off everything. All you're concentrating on is putting these dots down and listening to music. So I would do that going up to here, and then I would do the next one, the next one, the next one, the next one, and gradually work across. And as I said, it means that my hand has got somewhere to sit so that it doesn't sit in the glue. So I just wanted to get this started, just to give people an idea of what it's about and just the basics. The next time I'll probably have done quite a section of it. But what I would do is I would do all of the E's that I can see. You can see here that it changes to a C. So these two here are C, which, try to do this on camera. Yeah, so C is number 8. So I would take out tic tac box number 8 and it would be this colour. Now sometimes you get them, they're very close in colour, but it's quite easy to see the difference here. This is a sort of grey and this is black. So I'll only take out one at a time. It's just the way that I do it, that way there's less chance of me picking up the wrong thing. So at the moment all I'm working on is E's, and I would do all of the E's that I can find in this area, and where possible I try and do this alternate thing. So that's basically it. I mean, that's how you start, or how I start it, and the way that I work it. I always start in the bottom right hand corner. I just find it's less hassle. I don't get stuck to the glue as much. So all you're doing is just making sure that it's an E that you're dropping it on, not a C or a B or an 8 or anything like that. And then what I do is I do all of this. I'll just show you. If you imagine that this was sort of finished, I've done all the E's, and then I've got all these spaces, and then I come back again, and then I start to fill them in. and it's faster the second time because there's not much space for them to move anywhere. If you try and place them as accurately as you can, it makes things a lot easier, especially with square drills. But these are round ones, so they aren't quite as fussy. The thing about the square ones, because they're square, you have to get them lined up right to drop them in, whereas these are circles, so you don't have to worry about trying to line anything up to fit in the space. So just keep doing that. I'm sort of doing what I wouldn't normally be doing. Normally I would do the whole thing, like I said, the sort of checkerboard pattern, and then come back and fill it in. But all I'm trying to do is let people see the idea of what I'm talking about. So I would just continue on like that. So as I said, in the next video I'll probably have done a bit more, and I'll spend a bit more time changing the colours and things, and we'll see how it goes. But this short video gives you an idea. You try to get the edges of the circles as close as possible to the edge of the picture. They do move, you can push them and slide them a little bit, so don't worry too much. And don't worry about the gaps. Once the painting's finished and there is no light behind it, you really don't notice the gaps, because you're always going to get these gaps. I mean, it's a circle against a circle, so you're always going to get these little things. So that's basically it started. If I switch the light off, you see how suddenly you can see the air bubbles, but it's just because of the angle of the light. Sometimes if I was sitting at a different angle, you probably wouldn't see these. So when you get a diamond painting, it's a good idea to look at it from different angles, look across it, because from some angles you won't see air bubbles. And you need to make sure that you've cut through all of them. So this is the little section that I've done, and as I said, what I'm going to do is I've just got I've taken one piece of wax, and I'm going to see how much of an area I cover with just one piece of wax. So that's it, just short and sweet. Hopefully people that are thinking about starting diamond painting have got a better idea now of what to do. I know I have spoke to some people who tried it and didn't realise that there was a plastic film on this, and they were trying to push in and it wouldn't work. That's because you've got this cover on it, so you just peel that back. When you're not using it, put it back again. It helps to keep it sticky, and it stops dust and fluff sticking to the wax. And as I said, the way, again, it's maybe OCD, but the way I do this is I get the next circle really close, just like cutting cookies from dough, and that way I get as many dots as possible out of the piece of wax. But we'll see at the end how much of this I've got left. All the ones that I've done so far, I've had a lot of wax left. It's never been an issue, so you don't really have to worry. It doesn't look like much, but it will be enough to do this. So that's it. Nothing else that I really wanted to do in this one. This is just the very beginning what to do. I think I'm the only person that I know that uses placemats to hold all this stuff down, but I just find it gives me a good working area, and it holds the stuff in place, so it works for me. This is a small one compared to what I've done in the past. This is 45 centimeters by 45 centimeters, and 2 placemats cover the whole thing. The biggest one I had 10 placemats on it. That was an 80 by 100, and the last one I just finished, it was 8 placemats. So this is a very small diamond painting for me. I'll be curious to see how long it takes me to do. And you can see that something's fell on the glue, that little white bit. So what I would do is get the tweezers, which aren't lying here because I wasn't expecting to use them. So I've got tweezers. The problem is if you buy a kit with round drills, you probably won't get tweezers. They only seem to give them out with squares, but you could use just normal tweezers if you have tweezers at home and you want to pick up anything like that, because it'll affect the drill. If you go to put the drill down and you've got a piece of fluff or a crumb, it'll affect the adhesion. So it's always good to make sure that any little stray hairs or fluff or anything like that, just pick it off with tweezers. I mean, I would never have been able to pick that up with my fingers. It's far too small, but a decent set of tweezers will get that no problem. Okay, so as I said, I'll come back, I'll have done more of it, and I'll probably do a longer video, and you can see I'll have the camera higher up as well, and you can see exactly what I'm doing, changing colours and stuff like that. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, if you found it interesting or any use at all, please give me a follow by subscribing. I would really appreciate that, because I'm very new to YouTube, but I have a lot of things that I would like to do and talk about in diamond painting. I've got quite a few diamond paintings sitting by, so I'll be doing a lot of unboxing and showing people what you get from different companies and different bits and pieces. I've done one already about the light pad and did one about the new tray that I got. They come normally with a tray about this size, and again in the video that I did, I explained why I don't like them. At the very beginning I never thought about it, but after a period of time it really started to irritate me, so I got a much bigger tray, and again, like I said, I did a video about that. So that's it till next time. Be safe, take care, and wash your hands.